we go to the Jedediah house every Monday for supper, and then after supper we take him grocery shopping. And he decided not to go grocery shopping. And when we got home, there was a letter on our counter that said, if it wasn't for this house, I honestly don't know where I'd be. That's nuts, right? And this is why Sarah and myself were going with it. %. I believe God has called us to this house. And it's so fitting in this series that because of your support, I can support and Sarah can support God's mission. Working with Regina Youth for Christ, I'm kind of in two different zones with the organization. One side of my life has this, pizzazz, where I get to hang out with kids, I get to go into high schools, I get to put on these programs that can be as explosive and fun as can be. Just on a little side note, if you are in high school, we are having a huge Christmas party on the 14th of December at the YFC building. Just a little plug for that. You're more than welcome to be invited to that. If you're over high school, we still like to have you come and hang out with kids too, because we do need volunteers at this program. So we have one aspect of my job where I get to hang out with kids, and the other side is a volunteer position at U-Turn. And working with Regina Youth for Christ as a full-time staff, we are all required to raise our yearly salary. This comes from donations from churches, from different organizations, and from tithes and offerings from you guys. So I'm required to raise 100% of my salary, and the way this is possible is through you. So it's so fitting to this series that because of you and your support, I can support, Sarah can support, other YFC staff can support the Church of Regina as a whole, and God's people of Regina. Because there's a ton of unreached people in this city. And because of you, it's possible that we can reach those people. And if you want to know more on how you guys can get directly involved with YFC and what we're doing, whether it's providing a meal. We had a night a couple weeks ago where we had a family crisis, and me and Sarah took off to Swift Current, and we got meals from you guys. And because of you, our boys got to eat a fantastic shepherd's pie that night. Fantastic. And because of you, I got to eat the leftovers. It was still fantastic. We have a cleaning lady that comes in and almost mentors the kids on how to keep a clean house. And she had some medical, she had to get a surgery, and she is total self-employed, and so if she's not working, she doesn't get money. And because of you guys, because of Bloom Church, there is a care package at her doorstep. And so that's amazing. After the service is all finished up, there's a booth downstairs, the YFC booth. We've got pamphlets, we've got newsletters on how you guys can get involved, our different programs. There's not just, a youth group at YFC. There's not just U-Turn at YFC. There's so much more. Come downstairs, find out how you can get involved, and yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Jimmy. I want to quickly, before you go back down, come back up here. I'm going to make Sarah come up. She's going to be mad at me. I'm going to make him come to the front. I really want us to take a minute as a church, while they're here and after you just heard his heart, and share what they do and what they're about, just to pray for them as a body. And if any of you, I invite you, if any of you want to come forward and lay hands on them, I would love that as well. I just want to really pray for them, because what they're doing is really powerful in the city. You heard just a tiny bit of what's happening in kids' lives and at-risk teenagers, and this is just crucial. Like there's nobody loving these kids, and it's exciting to hear there are people, there are things happening that we can be a part of. So I just want to take a minute while we're all here together and just lift them up and pray for what they're doing. God, we're just excited to hear the stories, God, because stories are lives and life change of what's happening in the city, in our community, in our church. God, in Jimmy and Sarah's life, I thank you for their faithfulness, for their surrender, for their willingness just to open their home, their hearts, and put everything they have into serving you, and God, just putting that first. And we pray that you would bless them, that you would provide for them, God, that you would give them more than enough. I pray for those kids that are in their house right now, that you would just be stirring up something so incredible in their hearts, God, that you'd be just changing them forever. God, you'd be drawing them to you. And I just pray you would continue to work, even at YFC and D4, the different programs happening there. And God, I'm just so thankful to be a part of a church that is part of these things, that is being the hands and feet, that is loving people. God, I just again pray your richest blessing on them in every way, on their home and their family, for peace, protection. God, would you just do amazing and abundant things through them. God, we praise you for this. Amen. God, so much. Yeah, Jimmy made me cry. I'm trying not to cry again. It's just amazing to hear the stories. And if you ever get a chance, take Jimmy out to coffee. Take Sarah out. It's amazing to hear in more detail what God is doing. It will blow you away. It's exciting, exciting stuff. And we just heard about one way that you can be a part of life change. We just heard about the serving. And equally as important, we're going to talk about giving. It is one of the biggest ways God can use you to change lives. Because just like what we heard, those things happen because of people sharing and giving and being generous. And just like he was talking about earlier, Pastor Craig was talking about 2 Corinthians, where Paul is talking, and he says, you will be made rich in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. And that through your generosity, it will result in thanksgiving and praise to God. And that's exactly what it's all about. Is that in that surrender and giving, that God will get the glory and lives will be changed. It doesn't say you will be made rich in every way so that you can go to Walmart with your pepper spray and try to kill people to get an Xbox for half off. That's the drastic difference in our culture. I don't know who all heard that story, but it was just mind-blowing to me. I know people have heard me talking about it, that people would take pepper spray with a plan to go to Walmart to save $50 on a game. That's the culture we live in. And we have, in every way and every day, have to fight against that because we're bombarded with it. But that's what's important. The Bible says that where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And that person's treasure was saving that $50 on that Xbox, no matter who they had to trample on or kill to get it. But where is your treasure? Where is your heart? And one of the quickest ways you can see that, I'm just being honest, and this is just as much for me as it is for you guys. God's been tugging at my heart that, where's your treasure? Where do you invest? Because just like, God's the best stockbroker of them all. Because where you sow and where you invest, that's where you're going to reap and receive dividends. And so, where are you sowing? Where are you investing in your life? Like if we look at your bank statement, just you alone in a room, and you're honest, it's surprising where we invest and where we spend. And that's where your heart really lies. So I just encourage you today, as we're talking about different opportunities and how we can be changing lives. So when people, like Nikki said, when they're praying, when they're going to bed at night, they're thanking God for you. For those at-risk teenagers who maybe don't have someone who loves them, or, those people can say, because of them, I'm different. I feel loved. I know someone cares about me. And that's being the hands and feet of Jesus. And I just wanted to, just like Nikki did earlier, I want to thank you guys. You are generous, and I'm excited and proud to be part of a generous group. Everything we see, everything through these stories you hear, you don't always get to hear the little details of every way Bloom is in the community reaching. So it's exciting to have a day to celebrate and hear those things, but it's because of you guys, those things are happening, and will continue to happen. And I'm learning the hard way. I wish Lee was up here. Lee's downstairs serving our kids, because then she can just preach it when it comes to generosity and blessings and giving. And grab Lee if you want to hear an awesome sermon on giving as well. She could probably do this better than I could, but you cannot outgive God. And He is teaching me that in so many ways. I urge you to, if you want some homework, on our webpage, if you go to the giving page, there's a little short video about the blessed life and about giving. It's a past series we've done. Just continues to blow my doors off about how you cannot outgive God and how He is just inviting us to do amazing things if we'll trust Him and we'll be faithful. And I want everybody, is it awesome to be part of a giving church? Anybody? It's awesome to be part of a generous group. I just want to share a few quick little stories. I won't take too long, but I had an opportunity to go to Haiti this last year. I'm blaming this on Jimmy. And saw things I never thought I would see. And I can hardly talk about it without crying. But I don't cry because it was sad. I cried because it was powerful and exciting to see God at work in the midst of a terrible, terrible situation. Unthinkable circumstances. To see children begging with no parents, orphans left from the earthquake still on the streets. But on top of that, the joy of seeing people taking them in and loving them and making a difference. And you were part of that difference. As a church, we were able to do an amazing thing, even as a newer, smaller church, and send money that specifically went to those kids in Haiti for orphanage, for care, for evangelism, for food. And I thank you, as part of Bloom, for doing that and loving those kids and being part of that. Also, we have an opportunity right now. Dave's going to be sharing later about a passion offering, about some things. We're actually focusing on 3 areas. He'll explain more. I won't steal his thunder. But one of those is Manos de Amor. Grant and Karen Swanson, can you guys raise your hands and wave back there? They're heading down to Mexico, and we're going to be taking up some offering and giving to go down there to help an orphanage. We showed a picture last week of the kids that Karen shared, and that's another way as a church. Right now you have an opportunity to make a difference. If your heart's for those kids in Mexico, for the orphans, I encourage you to be part of that, to talk to them, to grab them today, find out more about it and what you can do. And this will be an ongoing long-term thing. We're excited to build a long-term relationship with the group down there. Another story, it's amazing to hear about Jimmy and Sarah. They don't really know this. We haven't had a chance to really talk and share, but we're going to be supporting and blessing them as well. So that's another way you can give and be part of the story from her, is through them. So there's different opportunities within our congregation, outside our congregation, in Mexico, that we're going to be making a difference. And I urge you to be part of that, as well as what's happening here at the food bank. We're going to be a part of that as well. One other little story, just things that bless me, that I think you guys need to hear, is this summer I had the opportunity of officiating my first wedding. Not everybody applauded, get excited at once. It was an amazing opportunity, Britt and Jared, just to be a part of their lives, and especially the honor of being part of their wedding. And it was just awesome to find out as a total surprise that at their reception, they have that Canadian crazy tradition where you're supposed to tinkle in a glass or something. I had to learn that at my own wedding, and you're supposed to kiss, and everybody hoots and hollers. Or what they did is, it was really cool at the reception, is to do that. If you went and gave money towards the orphans or kids in Haiti, that's when they would kiss in front of everybody. They took that simple opportunity to raise awareness, and not only that, to bless those kids, those people in Haiti. And it was just an amazing thing for me to see. And I encourage you, there's all different everyday ways you can do things. And they found a way to do it, and I applaud them, and we thank you guys for just the example. And it's a privilege to do life with you guys. But there's all kinds of amazing things, day in, day out. Like we were able to, as a church, because of you, to bless the YFC staff with lunch a few months ago. It was amazing chance to get the Jedediah home, see what's happening, and bless all those people that are serving with the meal, and just tell them how much we love them from Bloom. And that came from you as well. So it's because of your giving that God is changing lives in this community. It's because of each one of you. And I encourage you too, I didn't have time to share out of it. There's the coolest book called The Genius of Generosity. Someone gave it to me recently from Life Church. It's just a little tiny thin book that is changing me and making me aware of how God encourages us to be generous in every way of our life. And I encourage you, if you want a good little book to read and want your life changed and shaken up, to grab this, come and ask me about it. I'll be putting details about it on our website as well. I'm going to ask Dave to come up as he continues to share things that are happening in our community and our church.
Well, I don't know about you, but I love our church. Make some noise if you love our church. Now, because of this church, I'm a different person. I'm not the same person I used to be. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better friend.